What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Key to the Game. Today I got Wally Judge with me out of DC, man. Tell the people who's good, man.
What's going on, man? It's Wally Judge out of Washington, D.C. Um, hey, man, I'm happy to be here. Glad you had me.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you for coming up, man. And
No problem.
everybody don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, man. So yeah, we're just gonna tap in. We're just gonna jump right into this, man. Wally, just let the people know about yourself. You already let them know where you're from. Just tell them about your upbringing, coming up and stuff in DC.
Right. Um, I mean, for me, like coming up in the city, I was more so on the outskirts. In all honesty, like that PG County area with guys like Kevin Durant, Taiwan Lawson, Austin Freeman, Jeff Green, just like people to name a few, like where they come from. Um, but man, typical upbringing. My mom, she worked a government job early on, and I was just being a kid. Uh, I had two older brothers, or got two older brothers, who kind of led the way for me. One of my oldest brother, he's just like a hard working dude. You know what I mean? Like I guess he always felt like he was one of the backbones of the pillars. So he never really clung to sports. But my second older brother, he the one who kind of like introduced me to the basketball world and kind of got me interested in it. But just coming up for us, it was pretty decent at first. Then got a little rough along the way. Me and my brothers always stayed in tune. But when all that kind of shifted, I used basketball from that point on to kind of navigate my life.
Okay. And, yeah, like you spoke on some of the good, great talent that came out of the PG County area, man. I always tell people like y'all probably that area is probably like arguably the best area for basketball. Y'all probably got the most talent as far as from our era of '09, because I'm in the same class as you, and
Okay.
going further a little bit back like Kevin Durant and them. But I feel like y'all Cali, of course, the New York area, but I
Right.
definitely salute
I
that
think I,
talent.
I think the one thing that makes DC, or the DMV or PG County area, like I think the one thing that makes that, or makes it a little different, is hey man, when you think about like New York, right? New York is huge in,
Hmm.
in, in most aspects. Um, so it's almost a likelihood for a town to be like right next door to each other, to where like PG County, DC, we're a little bit more spaced out.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of link with guys to get to know this person. Like, man, coming up, I remember like shoot, I remember KD and Mike Beasley playing on the same AAU team.
You got to see that?
Yeah. I was when I was probably like 11 or 12. They used to have this league in Maryland called the man, it's gonna kill me not to remember, because I'm thinking, but it was a Langley Park League, and pretty much if you played basketball in the area or came up through it, like at some point you played in that league. And
Yeah.
I just remember seeing those dudes at a young age, and like kind of seeing the difference in I guess the hard work aspect of it. Because like, man, guys like Mike was always naturally talented. KD, I got to see him like work and grind and like become what he is today. So like it's definitely a hotbed. But then like when you look at places like Cali, it's so vast that
Yeah.
I guess you don't really understand what it means to have like all these great players in one setting. And it took me to get older to realize, like, man, how many people have come from the area? How many people have started off in DC, but unfortunately, the city kind of, how can I put it? Not forces you out, but it make you grow up fast.
Mm.
So when you become like one of those dudes, or better, one of those top players, your best bet is usually, to get out of the city.
Get out.
And
Yeah,
a lot
we're
of
gonna get into
us,
that.
huh?
I said we're gonna get into that because you ended up taking that route.
Yeah. I mean, just not like there's anything bad to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's nothing bad about it. It's just that when you, let's put it like that. When you're in a area where everybody's, I guess, great, right?
Mm-hmm.
It starts to dilute people's perception, because now it's just like if you go to a restaurant and every time you go to the food banging, you know what I mean? Like you gonna be like, man, I can order anything from here. Like it's all gonna be good. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of how I feel like recruiting started to turn into in the DC area. It's like, oh man, I can pick up any kid from out here. Like they all gonna be good. And that ain't the case. You know, it's like it's special ones. You know what I mean? And the challenge for us coming up was like, yeah, you can do it here, but then what's the next step? You know what I mean? Like, what's the next tier that you want to be pushed to? So that's why a lot of dudes would end up leaving and going to these other private schools.
Okay. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The way you put it right there was like it was perfect. The way you
Right.
made that analogy, that metaphor. So at what point, like, what made you fall in love with the game?
So, like I said, man, my upbringing started off like pretty decent. You know, my mom worked in the U.S. Treasury Department. Um, so like it wasn't like we was necessarily struggling. And then we had a mishaps. You know, both my grandparents fell ill with due to diabetes, and I ended up losing my grandfather.
Sorry for
And
your loss, man.
uh, and once we lost him, like my grandma was like shooting the next hospital room fighting for her life. So like my mom had to take a lot of time off to make sure they were straight. And it was like, shoot, if she didn't do that, then I probably wouldn't have had my grandma for the extended time that I did.
Mm-hmm.
But in that process, she lost her government job, and then from there, things started to kind of roll downhill. And I never forget, I wasn't really know. I was more of a football dude. And then like one day, my brother, we was walking home from the court, and he had on this Allen Iverson jersey, and I was like, man, who is that? you know, like who is that? And he's like, what? Like you don't know about Allen Iverson, the dude who crossed Jordan, da 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 da. And I'm like, nah, like I ain't watching no basketball. So then he takes his jersey off and gives it to me while we walking home. And then like I just started trying to figure out and study like who is Allen Iverson, like what makes me want to wear his jersey. And then the more I found out about him, I'm like, I started to fall in love with the game, especially like the way that he played. You know what I mean? Played hard every game, undersized dude. At the time, I didn't know I was going to be 6'10" or whatever. So I'm looking at it from a guard perspective, like this somebody who you want to emulate.
Yeah.
And then like I said, when stuff started roll downhill, I had to find ways to kind of get away from it mentally. So basketball was just something that like it didn't take a lot of money to do. I always could keep a ball on me, even if I didn't have a court. You know what I'm saying? I could just dribble up and down the street and take my mind off things. So I never thought it would be or take me to the points it did. I just did it to kind of not be caught up in the sorrows of what was going on. You know what I mean? Like I never forget my ninth grade year. Was trying to figure everything out and came home one day and I get off the bus stop, hanging with my boys. We talking, and one of my boys' moms pull up, and she's like, "Hey, come holler at me." I'm like, all right, cool. I go hop in the car with her. She started driving. She talking to me, asked me about certain things, and then like we drive up to my house. When I get there, like all our stuff is out on the front yard. So I'm just like, oh, like it got real. And then like from that point on, we kind of bounced around. And the one thing I could always guarantee, you know what I mean, is that like no matter where I was living, no matter what conditions I was living in, like I could I can control basketball. You know what I'm saying? I can
Mm-hmm.
control going to do that. I can control working on my game. I can control, working on my shot. I can lose myself in becoming better instead of worrying about the situations I was in. You know what I mean?
You know, that's definitely understandable, man. Because
Yeah.
in New York, man, shit like that happen all the time, man.
Oh yeah.
Like,
No.
what the city is crazy out here, man. Like people, like I use me personally, I use basketball as like a sanctuary for me. Like that should take me from everywhere. When I was growing up playing, it took me from everywhere. So I definitely can relate to what you're saying as far as like it was like your safe haven.
Right. And then like I related to dudes like KD just because like man I wasn't always good. You know what I mean? Like I can't forget I was 11 and one of my best friends was like, man, come to this tryout. So I go to this AU tryout. PG Ball Handlers was the name of the team. And so I go the first day, nothing really. Go the second day, nothing really. So the third day I go. And the coach is like, damn, man, you here again? So I'm like, yeah, like, what you mean? Like, I'm trying to make the team. He like, yeah, bro, like, I done cut you 3 times. So I'm like, what? Like, I had no idea. But the whole time I'm 11, but I'm
Yeah.
playing 14-year-olds in this tryout. He don't know that I'm 11.
Oh
You
wow.
know, because when I was 11, I was probably like, I was like 5'10", 6 foot.
Mm-hmm.
So like he had no idea. So like after that, I kind of went down a, you know, I ain't gonna say a dark path, but I was getting in some trouble. And the thing that like saved my life was my I had, dang, I don't never really tell people the story, but I had my mom had just got her car, and I was like playing around one day, end up like knocking the car out of park, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm shook because mom come outside and see that car ain't where she left it, like, and I'm the only person in the crib, so yeah, she coming right at me. So I'm trying to figure out how to, you know, get it back into the spot, but I don't know how to throw it in reverse, nothing. So like I end up cranking it up, try to bring it around the block to, you know, pull it back in, and in the midst of doing that, man, I I hit 3 parked cars, right? And through God's grace, like I ain't no seatbelt on. Uh, I I totaled the car I was in, plus 2 of the other 3 cars. Airbag didn't deploy, you know what I mean? Hit my head on the steering wheel, everything. But luckily, like, wasn't injured. And I never forget, dude. Like the whole neighborhood outside, just like watching me sit on the curb. You know, police done came, all that. And when they took me to the house, like the like my mom, you know, whoopings and all that. You know how it is in the
Yeah,
house.
hell yeah, hell yeah.
So, so like I'm already prepared to, you know, for her to go ahead and lay hands on me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got in the house, I never forget. Like she looked at me. She was just like, "Just go to your room." And like I was crushed, bro. Like I ain't never disappointed my mother so much in my life at that point.
Yeah,
And
that hurt
I,
you more than any whooping.
oh man, for sure. Like I went in the room, I ain't turned on TV, I ain't none of that. You know what I mean? Because I was always protective of my mom, and I felt like I was putting her in jeopardy. And what saved my life is that same coach who cut me 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
She runs into him in the grocery store, and my older brother played for his AAU team.
Okay.
So he knew my mom, and so they ran into each other in the grocery store, and they talking, and she started crying. So you know, he trying to figure out what's going on, and she like, I need somebody to save my son. Uh, she like, I don't know what to do. You know, I need somebody to save him. So he brought me back to the team. Brought me back to the team and like let me play. And like my first game, dog, I had 2 points, but I had like 6 blocks. You know what I'm saying?
And
I'm
you're
like,
11 playing 14 still?
nah. He found out my age, so
Oh, all right.
I was playing with the 11-year-olds. But I just remember like it was like it was like, how can I put it? Like I couldn't do anything wrong in my mind because I never experienced it. Like 2 points, I'm like, I'm super optimistic. I'm like, next game I'm gonna have 4. Next game I'm gonna have 6, and I was just enjoying it. You know what I mean? And that year, I didn't necessarily get better, but I learned. You know what I mean? And then he just kept me around. And then, but every year after that, I would get better, but they would lose my age group. So then I would have to go play up or something. So like 11s, I played my age, but then 12, I was playing like 13, 14s, and then 13, I was playing like like 16s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like a crash course until like he finally kind of ran out of money, and then the team folded. But like guys, some of the notable alumni like Jeff Green came up through that program before he went inevitably before he went to DC Assault. So kind of like the same walk. But once they folded, I found my way to a team called the Maryland Spurs. It was just like some team to play with. One of my neighborhood homeboys was like, yeah, just come play with us. And I mean, basketball just kept me out of trouble. Like my dad is a street dude. My oldest brother is a street dude. So it wasn't like hard to get into that.
Navigate there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like my dad, wildly respected in DC. He's what they like to call the bully's bully. You know? So like if somebody owed you something, Big Wally gonna go get it for you.
Oh yeah, you gotta holler at them.
Yeah, so like I ain't never had to like walk around looking over my shoulder, no wild stuff like that. But I always had access to that life, but I just was like, nah, I ain't never want to do it. So then I kept trying to find teams. So I played with that team, the Maryland Spurs, for a year, and then I guess they folded. And I was going through my hardship because now we had ended up getting homeless again. So like throughout my adolescence, we probably spent about 2-3 years being homeless. But then like from that point, like man, I never talked to people about I never made excuses for it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
So from that point, one of my best friends, he was a year older, so he went to this high school called Bladensburg. My older brothers went there and all that stuff, but it wasn't like a prestigious basketball school.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had like alumni from back in the day, NBA champions like Thurl Bailey, like that was like back in the 70s and all that stuff. So like when I came in, like nobody was getting recruited. Like my seniors in front of me, like they was getting letters from like community colleges. I think like the biggest letter I seen for one of my Arlington Country.
What you said?
I said I think the biggest school I seen when I was a freshman that went out seniors guy was like Maryland Eastern Shore.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like I don't even know where that's at. I'm looking around. I'm just like, nah. I'm like, nah. Like Frostburg State. Just a whole bunch of like D3s is super low, and I'm like, nah, man. I can't beat that. Like, it's either gonna be greatness or a wash. You know what I'm saying? And man, but my seniors they had made it hard for me. Like that's what I mean. Like I never really had a clean walk to it. You know what I'm saying? Like
let me stop you right there. I want to rewind a little bit. At what point did you like know that what point that you feel that you was getting good and knew that like this could become your future?
Like the let me see. That's a great question. Because like I had flashes, you know what I mean? But I was kind of too afraid to like take the reins. But like when I knew it clicked, perfect. The game I knew it clicked. It was sophomore year. We went out to a holiday tournament, right? Freshman year, I played half the season. I probably averaged like 6 points. I had like some grade issues because it's hard to do homework when you ain't got no home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
So, yeah, sophomore year, we end up getting a new head coach. This guy named Coach Butler, and like he just wouldn't let me, like, even when I didn't get my grades, he wouldn't leave me alone. He wouldn't let me, he always kept me around the team. Like, even when I wasn't eligible, he'd take me on away trips. I'd do the stat book, home games, I'd do the JV scoreboard. Like, he just kept me around. And God rest his soul, but great man, you know what I mean? But we went to a holiday tournament down in Hampton. And first game, we start out, and I don't know what got into me, but, like, I'm going crazy. Like, I'm going crazy. Like, I'm hitting trays. I'm bringing the ball up. So, like, now I'm starting to realize, like, oh, like, I can really do what I want. And I never forget, we was in their gym, the hosting school, but, like, while we playing, I'm going so crazy that they fans chanting T-Mac, right? They like T-Mac, T-Mac. Like, I'm jumping past the lanes, getting fast break dunks. Like, just
It's
like,
all coming together.
Yeah, like I'm not even thinking about it. It's second nature. So then, like, we end up losing because I had probably like 18 in the first half. I probably finished the game like 24 because I guess once I got off all my upperclassmen, like, nah, it's my go, And then, like, from that point, I just realized, I'm like, this is my team. Like, we only gonna go as far as I take them. You know what I'm saying? And luckily, I had a solid point guard who knew the game. We was the same age, but he knew how to control the flow, knew how to get me the ball. And then, like, I just started studying the game, studying every way possible to score. Every way to score, every way to affect the game. And then, like, I had one coach. I never forget. I had one coach tell me, I was like, man, I ain't throwing the ball. I'm like, I done earned. I'm like, man, I ain't throwing the ball. So even when I'm starting to get better, it's still humble moments. My coach is like, man, he's like, why they gotta throw you the ball? You 6'7", go get it off the glass. So then from that point, I was just like, bro, I'm gonna get every rebound. And then it just started it made my teammates mature. And it made my teammates understand, like, nah, this kid different. So then they start, to this day, they blame me for not winning the state title. I'm like, bro, I was 15. They ran a triangle and 2 on me. Like, what y'all wanted me to do, bro? But yeah, man, that's kind of how I got going. Once I had that game where I realized, like, it it's like the Matrix, right? Like when Neo figured it all out and he started seeing the patterns. Like, that's how it was. Like, when I started figuring it all out, I ain't see the defense. I seen, like, the angles I wanted to get to. And I knew how I was going to get there. And, like, once I got there, I knew I had 3 to 4 different counters once I got. So, like, it started to become like a math equation. You know what I'm saying? And which is crazy. That's probably my worst subject. But it started becoming like a math equation. Like, I'm like, all right, if I get to this angle, he's going to try to go here. So then I'm going to go this way, and I just stopped seeing defenders after a while.
And how did you finish up that sophomore year?
We lost in it would have been the game so like state title, like they usually have like the final 4 teams go to like the big. We lost like the game before that. Okay. But the team that we lost to, didn't give them any credit. Like, they had a great coach. They had D1. They had 2 D1 players. One guy named Donnell Dotson went to Kentucky.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, with John Wall. Yeah, he cold. Like, he's the first person I seen, like, take a step back 3 and somebody could test it. And he get it off, and then he grabbed them and pull them on him like they fouled him. Like, and I'm like, dang. Yeah, like, I'm like, it started, boosting my intelligence towards the game, man.
Yeah. Especially being that young on Voss.
Yeah. And, like, I knew it was something different because so many people was trying to stop me from playing. And, like, so when I was at Bladensburg and we were homeless, my mom had to go to the DC side. So my grandma lived right down the street from the school. So, like, I was using her address. But for whatever reason, I don't know, man. At the school at the time, they didn't know how to nurture,
Let me ask
talent.
you. Let me ask you a question. Like with the DMV area, how did that go? Like as far as certain people going to certain schools, because I see now people would be from Maryland going to us, St. Paul V, whatever that school called.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be going to school in Virginia and stuff like that. Like, how does that go? You got to have an address or something.
Yeah. Well, Paul VI is private, so it might be some exceptions to it, like scholarship and stuff like that. But like public schools, like, nah, you gotta have an address. You gotta live in that area. They will hunt you down.
Especially if you're talented, right?
Man, listen, I used to be in practice day before a game. My administrator would walk in there and be like, he can't practice. He gotta sit down. So they like, why? Like, he gotta show proof of address. So like my sophomore year, literally every week I had to go get some paperwork signed by my grandma saying that like I walked to school. You know what I'm saying? Like I really walked to school. But every week I had to go get paperwork signed saying that like I'm staying with my grandma. And the catch of it was my grandma stayed in like sorry, I passed something on my screen. My grandma stayed in the old folks home. So obviously I can't really live with her. But so like when it would come down to it, the administrators would like, they wouldn't try to give me the paperwork to take home. They would try to come home with me to like see if
Yeah.
But like luckily one of the JV coaches was an administrator. So whenever it came to it, he'd be like, nah, I'll take it. And then he'd go with me to get it signed. Because he's not going to tell him like, hey, it's an old folks home.
Yeah. That's crazy how God works.
Yeah, man. It was wild, man. Like, but it like I always took those feats as like motivation. You know what I'm saying? Like our administrator, he worked at a school that was not necessarily our rivals, but we were about to play him. But he used to work at the school, Oxon Hill, like guys like Mike Sweetney, Florian Campbell, guys like that went there.
Okay.
Florian Campbell was on that George Mason team that
what's the Final Four?
Yeah, that made that run. So Mike Sweetney, NBA, he made it to
Georgetown.
Yeah. So he shows up to the game in our home gym with all Oxon Hill stuff on. So when I see it, after he done tried to like stop me from practicing and all that, I'm like, I'm about to go crazy. I'm like, I'm about to go crazy. I think that game I had like 20 and 20. I was like, nah, bro, like that's crazy that you got talent here and you celebrating another school. Because the guy who was at the school, I ain't gonna lie, a guy named Maurice Creek played.
All right, I remember him too. He went to Indiana, right?
Went to Indiana, finished at George Washington.
Yeah, I remember him.
Mo Creek had just came back from Mount Zion. And he was like hot, like 40s, like giving people 40s. So everybody like, oh, they about to kill y'all. We like, yeah, okay. So I started making all these little personal notes, and I started getting my hit list together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
who were some people on that hit list, man?
Man,
we got to talk about it.
Let's see. Well, first of all, every McDonald's All-American in my class was on it. like if you like, I tell people all the time, man. They ask me about like now. Well, I guess kids look at like the Jordan game and the McDonald's game is like a celebration of accomplishment. I ain't see it that way. I seen it as like all them dudes who was ducking because they played on the Nike circuit or Reebok, or all them dudes who from Cali who I ain't get a chance. Like now, like y'all can't run. You know what I'm saying? Like even when I went down to the McDonald's game and all that, like my mindset was like I'm leaving number one. You know what I mean? But like I never even thought about that. I didn't know I was gonna be McDonald's. Crazy story. The thing that taught me about the McDonald's game was that I was watching the Hall of Fame high school thing, and they was doing a report on Skylar Diggins.
Okay.
I'm like, dang. And they like, oh, she number 3 in the country. Da 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 da. So I'm like, oh yeah, she gonna be at McDonald's, and I gotta be at McDonald's.
You had to get next to Skylar Diggins?
I was like, I gotta get in the vicinity, man. I was like, man, everybody will get these buckets until I get there. You know?
So at like when you was a sophomore, your sophomore year, that's when your name started buzzing, or you ranked like one of the top dudes in the country yet? Or it takes off that summer when you play AAU?
So when it jumped off for me, so like I went to DC Assault. Crazy thing about DC Assault.
I was gonna ask you who you ran with. You had to run with DC Assault back then.
Yeah, so when it came down to it and I started getting better, the options was either DC Assault or at the time Triple Threat, which is now Team Takeover.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I wasn't really feeling the Reebok wave. So like I ended up going with Assault. So like the first tournament was crazy though. Like we had guys who was younger, guys like Kendall Marshall who went to North Carolina.
Okay.
Couple more dudes on our team. Rashad Wack went to George Mason, but our first tournament was in Jersey, Fairleigh Dickinson, and we went up there. We was like 12, 15 deep. You know what I'm saying? And I never could get a rhythm. So the whole tournament, bro, I scored 1 point.
What?
I scored 1 point the whole tournament, right? So when they get down to it, they like, yeah, man, like we good. But everybody on my team went to a private school. Me and my point guard were the only public school kids on there. So there was some favoritism in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so then like I missed the tournament. And my high school coach went to the guys from DC Assault. They're like, nah, man, you gotta give him a fair chance. They're like, what you mean? Like, man, 15, 16 players on that tournament team. Like, you gotta give my man a fair chance. So the next tournament, they bring me back for the third tournament. I averaged 17 and 11 the whole tournament. We win a chip. They like, all right, he can run with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, he's solid.
That should be politics, man.
Man, it'd be crazy. Like last year, that first tournament, it was like Kendall Marshall, Josh Selby, like I said, the guy Rashad Wack. Man, it was endless dudes on that team.
Yeah, I was loaded.
Yeah, shoot, my brother Rodney Magruder, like we was stacked up. So it was just like I couldn't find the rhythm, but once I did, then they started to see it. But then I still ran into some hurdles with them here and there.
So going into your junior year, you decided to make a big move. You go to Florida, go to Arlington Country Day, and you like with your man you just mentioned. You go there with Rodney Magruder. Like, how did that come about? And did you and Rodney like? I didn't even know Rodney was from your area. I thought y'all linked up out there. But how did that come about? Because it seemed like y'all was on every path together. Y'all ended up at K-State together too.
Right. So like we really got the ball rolling. When it really hit me, we played before we get to junior year, sophomore year. We went to Adidas Take 5 tournament up in Cincinnati, and I wowed out. So I go back to school, normal time. Like I ain't had no cell phone, no computer, none of that stuff. So I'm in school one day, and this guy on this freshman on our team, like, man, I want to be like you when I grow up. I'm like, what you talking about, bro? He like, man, you ranked in the country. I'm like, no, I'm not. He like, yes, you are. I'm like, man, you well, like, where I'm ranked in the country, right? He like, you number 23. I'm like, nah. So like, I said I had no computer. So we run up to the 4th floor to the computer room. You know what I'm saying? We go in there. I go on scout. Number 23. Go on rivals. Top 25. I'm like, oh, snap. Right? So now this is what changed my mindset about it all. So now I'm hyped. I'm like, shh. So it was an older guy named Calvin Cage. He's always come back and work out at the school. He went to the University of Buffalo, had a great pro career overseas. I think he is coaching at Canisius right now.
Okay.
But I go to him, he come in to work out. So I'm like, yo, Cal, is this the dude that everybody's shooting for? Like, he was the man when he was there. So I'm like, yo, Cal. I'm like, bro, I'm number 23 in the country. He was like, all right. I'm like, that ain't tight. he like, man, I don't know how you look at it, but I just feel like that's them saying that it's 22 people better than you.
Mm.
And I was
Like,
like,
experience.
Man, it took my breath away. It's like, man, and then like, and I was like, whoa, like I ain't look at it like that. He was like, you think it's 22 people better than you? It's like, no chance. So then like, that's why I said I started putting that hit list together. All the Montrose dudes, Terrell Vincent, and who I can say, that's one of my boys to this day. Like Terrell Vincent, Isaiah.
Friendly competition, man.
Huh?
I said it's friendly competition.
All day long, but like, I couldn't wait to like. I mean, I wanted a private school dude, so I couldn't wait, bro. Like, so then that year, I finished out. You know, I ended up making like all met honorable mention, which is crazy if you were sophomore averaging 17 and 11 or 16, 11, whatever. But to
in
do
New
it
York,
any credit,
fucking first team.
yeah, but to do it any credit, like that all met team was crazy. Like Chris Wright went to Georgetown. Austin went to Georgetown. Vernon Macklin, Michael Beasley, Nolan Smith, like Dante Cunningham went to Villanova.
See, when I say that, man, y'all got dogs out there, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so like it made sense why I ain't make it, but still, you know, the competitor in me was like thrown off. Mm-hmm. And so that whole summer, I'm playing with my high school. And then my coaches pulled me to the side, set me down, and like this is the type of stuff though, these type of people that come into your life that like, man, you can't explain anything other than them being an angel. You know what I'm saying? Because most people act off for benefit. You know what I mean? Yes. I was lucky enough to have coaches that really cared. And because I tried to leave the school before, like people don't know, I was supposed to go to St. Pat's.
You Kyrie and Dexter Strickland would have been crazy. And Michael Kidd Gilchrist?
Oh yeah, it would have been Paris Bennett, even Derek Gordon. Like
Derek Gordon, yeah, y'all have been, yeah.
We would have went crazy. But like I even went up there. I took a visit. I went up to Jersey. They put me in like a tryout setting in some rec center or something, but like all the same, I guess all the candidates, and I mopped the floor with them. Like it wasn't.
Kevin Boy, you know how to go get him, man.
Huh?
Kevin Boy, you know how to go get him.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what was the assistant coach's name. He was my guy, black dude. But once he seen me in that, he was like, yeah. He went on ahead, folded up his paper. So, yeah, I seen enough. And so they wanted me to come up, but I was like, man, I'm big on loyalty, dog. So it was like, when I got back and I was around my teammates and like my coaches and stuff, like I was just like, man, I'm gonna give this one more shot. So then that's how I gave one more shot, made it through my sophomore year. But then like my coaches knew that and they didn't want me to make the same mistake. So they called me into the room. It's like 2 weeks before school start. And they like, hey, look, man, we want you here. And we know we can win with you. And we want to stay title and all that. But if we keep you here, this might be, he said, if we keep you here, you're going to be working at the corner store. like that ass. He's like, we keep you here. He's like, you're going to be working at the corner store. And all you're going to be talking about is how you used to get buckets. It's like,
that's real.
Yeah, it's like we gotta find a situation for you. So like, and that's why I say, man, praise to Coach Butler, because like he's seen it in me before I seen it in myself. So like he would pay to send me up to Eastern Invitational or something, and he drove me up there. Drove me up to Jersey to the University of New Jersey or whatever. Drove me up there. Dropped me off, bought me bed sheets, made sure I was straight, came pick me up from camp. But he's like, listen, man, I bring you up here, go crazy. Like he's like, I believe in you, so go crazy. And I went stupid up there too. I got a chance to match up against like Chris Smith.
JR brother.
Yeah. Gave him buckets.
He gave him buckets.
Like I never forget. It was a play where he came down and he got a bucket. He was like, it's easy, and I ain't like that. So I'm like, yeah, come on, let me get that. I bring it up court, cross, come down the lane, and like at that one, you're not supposed to dunk. I guess like on the outside courts.
Oh, what?
Yeah, because I forgot what the situation was, but they was like you weren't supposed to dunk on the outside courts. Maybe they was like roll out or 2 for real, whatever. But I just remember he pissed me off. So I got the ball coast to coast, came down the middle, cranked it, boom. Nobody said nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, bro, keep talking. And but like I said, shout out to Coach Butler, because like it take real men and real leaders to put their gains aside and their goals for the benefit of someone else or for the betterment of a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And so why Arlington Country Day though? Out of all the schools, I'm sure you could have went to the Oak Hills, the St. Pat's, of course, the Mount Zions, the Brewsters. What made you go to Arlington Country Day?
That's another. I got invited to go to Brewster too, and they wanted me to go to Brewster too. And shout out my man G Day. He was trying to get me up there, and we would have been a hell of a team too. But Arlington Country Day came about. I'm gonna give you the facts. I ain't anybody.
Yeah, come on. We don't sugarcoat it on here.
Arlington Country Day came about. So like they said, they was like, man, we gotta find you somewhere. So 2 weeks before school starting, they shopping me. They tried to send me to Oak Hill, right? Steve Smith, like, yeah, I know he ranked, heard about him, but I don't really know the guy. Which he says about a lot of people, because he said the same about Josh Smith.
I just seen Josh Smith interview where Josh Smith was saying.
Right, so he like, I don't really know the guy. So my coach, like I said, I ain't sugarcoating nothing. My coach at the time, who was at K-State, Delonte Hill, he the one who talked to Steve. When he said that, he like, all right, well, forget it. Like, we don't need y'all. So at the time, Bob Huggins was at K-State.
Okay.
Bob Huggins and my high school coach in Florida was like best friends. My high school coach in Florida, Rex Morgan, he
former NBA player.
Former NBA player, played for the Celtics, went to the national title with Jacksonville University. Set a record for like the perfect game against Kentucky. You know what I mean? So like he was a knowledgeable dude, and they put me in the right hands when they sent me to him. But it was all a way to get me to K-State. You know
the same thing happened with Rodney McGruder?
Well, me and Rodney was always locked in.
So so it was like wherever you was going, he was going to fuck with you.
Yeah, like it got to the point we was both getting recruited. We sitting down chopping up letters like, all right, trying to match up. Oh, you got. I'm like, man, I like Georgetown. He like, I like Miami. I'm like, Miami ain't a big school. Mm-hmm. He like, yeah, Georgetown ain't a school for guards. And I'm like, we gotta figure this out. So then we started talking about, Pittsburgh. We was thinking about doing Pitt, and it just got down to the point where like we was even letting college recruiters know, like, bro, if you get one of us, you got us. You know what I'm saying? Whoever commits first, the second one gonna follow.
I was gonna ask you because you was a top 15. Like when it was all said and done after your senior year, you was a top 15 dude in the country. So you had to pick of the litters. Like you could have went basically anywhere. I was gonna ask you like why K-State, but as you explained.
So yeah, I mean, and I trusted Delonte. You know what I mean? I trusted Delonte at the time. I ain't sugarcoating. At the time.
And don't sugarcoat nothing, man. This is what the people want to hear.
Right. So my cousin, who was my high school coach at Bladensburg, he was my assistant coach at Bladensburg, right? When everything started to kind of bubble, he was like my liaison for everything. Like, you talk to him. So when it got time for me to go to Florida, and when I started popping, like, people offering them jobs. Central Florida, South Florida, NC State. People offering them jobs because they trying to get a hold of me, you know. So when I went to Florida, K-State offered him a job. So he took a job at K-State. And when he did that, like literally every school on my radar was like North Carolina, like, ugh. So like it got to the point I got to call schools like, hey man, why I ain't heard from you? And they like, well, Wally, we see Bruce is over at K-State. We know how close you and Bruce are. Like, and I'm like, what they gotta do with me wanting to go to your school? Like, you know, so like people was just Xing themselves out. Then when it came down to it, North Carolina told me like, they told me, so there's like, we want to wait to see what your grades look like. And I was like, yeah, go ahead, scratch you off the list. Because they told the same thing to KD. Yeah. But yeah, man, so I had to basically re-recruit myself, even though I was a top 20, top 15 dude. And so when it came down to it, the schools I wanted to go to weren't the ones that was recruiting me. like I literally had every school in the country except for the two schools I wanted to go to, which was Memphis or Georgia Tech.
Okay, you want to go with Cal?
Yeah, I mean, I just like Memphis.
No, matter of fact, Cal wasn't even there no more, right? He was in Kentucky, matter of fact.
Nah, he was there.
Oh, he was there?
Yeah, he was there up until our senior
year. Yeah.
He left for Kentucky.
With John Wall in them.
Yeah, while we was at the McDonald's game.
What?
Yeah, it was crazy. Because Lance was about to commit to Memphis. And I never forget, dog, they had a whole press conference set up for Lance to commit. And man, it was crazy. Like they laid out the red carpet, and then Lance gets up there and he's like, I'm gonna keep my options open. Because he was going to commit to Memphis. I think DeMarcus was already committed to Memphis. And when because I remember that was my roommate, and me and DeMarcus like this. So when the news came out about Cal leaving Memphis, he was pissed.
Who? Lance?
Nah, DeMarcus.
Oh, DeMarcus was pissed.
Yeah, so he like, man, what the hell, like, and I just remember I like Memphis way Cal was there, but it wasn't necessarily him. It was like the style of play, and one of my favorite point guards went there of all time. And it wasn't D Rose. It was the dude. Huh?
Tyreek?
Nah, even before him. So you remember a guy named Darius Washington?
Hell yeah. Come on, man. Hell yeah. I'm from New York, man. You think I ain't watched Bassey play against him?
That's what I'm saying. So like man, man, to this day, bro.
He's from Florida too, matter of fact, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Clearwater, I think.
Yeah. Edgewater.
Yep. To this day, that's one of my favorite college point guard ever.
Yeah, he was tough. I think he should have been in the pros. I think he should have been in the league.
Right. I think the thing that hurt him was that game when they was about to was it a tournament game?
When he missed the free throws? I think that was in Louisville.
Yeah, that hurt me.
That was at Conference USA. I think Conference USA championship.
Mm-hmm. So but nah, man, to this day, I think I even messaged him probably a couple years back, like, bro, you best point guard that I've seen. Like, I love this game. And then the other school was Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech was because when I started coming up in basketball, that was around the time when Jared Jack was there and Muhammad and who was the other guard name? They had three strong guards and a big white dude that played center. But that's when they made their run and they lost to UConn in the chip. And I like Georgia Tech. I don't know what it was. I just liked it. But then when it came down to it, they didn't recruit me because they had just signed Gani Luau.
Okay.
They was trying to say that me and him played alike. And so that knocked them off the list. And then Memphis just ain't never come knocking really. You know what I mean?
Okay. So you play at Arlington Country there. You You, Rodney Magruder. I don't know who else was on that team. Did y'all have any other D1 kids? It was just y'all two.
Nah, it wasn't just us. But like, man, like I coach now, right? So like, what I be trying to explain to my team, because I coach now here in Missouri.
Okay. Oh, you out in Missouri now?
Yeah.
That's dope.
We got one of the hottest. We got two of the hottest guards in this area, and they've been putting them numbers in. Like we the number one team in the area. But like, what I try to illustrate to them or explain to them is like, you got to know how to play on a good team. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody want to be that. Everybody want to throw on that cape and be that hero, the dude who go out and get 25 every night. And, you know, when it come down for the game winner, we going to you and da-da-da-da. But when you're on a good team where, like, your point guard is good, your shooting guard is smart, like, everybody can play, you got to learn how to navigate your skill set within them. You know what I mean? And because I tell them all the time, like, bro, if me and Rodney ain't go combine for 60, we was losing. So like I've seen Rodney averaged like 27. He averaged 27 and like 9 rebounds, and I averaged 20 and 20. So that's already, 50.
That's 60 right there. 57.
Yeah.
40, 57. No, what's that? 47? Some shit like that.
Yeah, that's 47 and 30. That's 50 points a night and 30 rebounds.
Nice.
Because if I'm averaging 20, that means I'm getting 24, 25, 27.
Mm-hmm. He might get 30.
Right. Like if he averaging 27, then he getting 30s. You know what I mean? So, and I think the next dude after us probably average like 8. And so, and we had another dude on our team named Amari Bailey. He was like 6'7" swing man. Play like a Paul Pierce, right?
Okay.
Like sneaky, athletic, not necessarily quick, but decisive. You know. So, deceptive. I mean, but when he didn't mind when I got there, because I was a big, so he was like, I don't gotta play big man no more. But then they also didn't know that like I handled the ball and all that stuff. But he was still cool with it, because it's still two of us. But then when Rodney got down there, he became the third option. So, like, he just kind of folded, you know. Like, every game, we throwing him the ball, he throwing it back. We like, bro, you know, all right, cool. And then me and Rodney,
take a shot.
Yeah, like me and Rodney just go crazy. So like, yeah, it was just me and him, bro.
And so those 2 years, y'all, I think y'all won state championship both years.
Yeah, I won in my junior year. Rodney went there. Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, he came your senior year.
Yeah, we because I remember I used to talk me and Rod, like when I say that we brothers, bro, like blood can't make us closer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
shout out to Rodney Magruder, man. We got to get him up here, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. He doing his little stint out in Italy right now.
That's what's up.
But yeah, dog, like I just like junior year, I'm like, bro, like come down here, come focus. You know what I'm saying? We can just work on our game and then get ready for college. I'm like, it's love, bro. Like the way they got the classroom set up, like all you can do is focus on what you need to.
Mm-hmm.
And he would call me junior year every night, like, man, I'm tired of fucking losing. So like he had a solid team too. Like it was him and I don't know if you remember Chris Joseph.
Yeah. From Canada.
Yeah, played.
Yeah, I remember.
So he transferred down, and they were in the same school together. But like the league they playing in, like I said, they playing against DeMatha, Gonzaga, like
let me tell you, bro. I played against Gonzaga in high school. This was I was a junior. They had Tyler Thornton. He was a sophomore.
Yep.
Yo, they brought our ass out to Gonzaga tournament, bro. No, we wasn't ready for that. Like I went to Ohio, so we played in the same league as Rice, St. Ray's,
okay,
King, shit like that. Man, when I tell you we lost every game in that shit, that was the first time I seen Malik Waynes.
Okay.
My coach said, Corey Fisher is big on the East Coast to us, to New York.
Nah,
He like, yo, huh?
I seen Corey live.
Yeah, Corey like that.
When they recruited me up there, him and Jeff Robinson, they were playing like some type of title game against
probably Federation.
It was like Orange School.
Yeah. All right, I remember they had the short dude with the braids.
Yeah, but I seen,
he went D1 though.
Yeah, I seen Corey go crazy. I know Corey.
Yeah, and I tell you that my coach said, "Yo, you think Corey Fisher good? This is Corey Fisher on steroids." Talking about Malik Waynes because Malik Waynes is so fast and strong. That was the first time I ever seen him. Time I ever seen him.
Bro, listen.
That's when I realized DC area, y'all tough.
Right, bro. Malik, that's my dog too.
Yeah, he was at Roman Catholic, I think.
Yeah, we played him my senior year. We lost him. We lost him in the city of Palms, bro. But like, I think it was about like one. Like people be like, "Yo, John Wall fast." I'd be like, "Nah." I like John fast, but it's a different caliber of speed with Malik because he like a bowling ball.
Yeah, he's strong as fuck.
Right. Nah, but yeah, we played him. I know they had another guard on that team too. Light skinned dude was nice.
Damn, I don't remember. This shit was like an 08.
So
actually 07.
It had to be 09 because this is our 08, 09 because this is our senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude was like a sophomore. I never remember his name, but I know he was going crazy against us. But nah, Malik, my guy.
Yeah, he tough, man. But yeah, your senior year, man, you do excellent, man. And I wanted to tap into this because you're the first McDonald's All American I ever had on this show, man. So you made history. Yeah, I ain't never have a McDonald's All American on this show. And I wanted to ask, like, I never got to speak to like tap in like with a McDonald's All American and ask them like how was that? How was that experience?
It was crazy. Like you said, you did your research. I didn't get to play in the game.
Yeah, back injury.
So like, well, really neck. So I don't know how like what the reports say, but so basically what happened was like I told you, I was on some like when I found out I made it, I'm like it's over for everybody. Even if you like read the reports and stuff, like that inter squad scrimmage, like Xavier and Henry, nah, bro, like that's my dog too, but it's something about guys from like the Midwest and stuff. Like I like as an East Coast dude, like nah, bro, like I'm not letting you rock out. And so like he on my team, but he the number one player, and I'm like, y'all gonna let me play the three? Because he playing the three. I'm like, y'all gonna let me play the three? They're like, yeah. I'm like, bet. And like the scrimmage, I'm going crazy against him. And so what happened was it was a play, I got a rebound. I'm pushing up the left side of the court. Avery Bradley steps up. I make a move, go past him. Abdul Ghani step up. I like spin off of him, going to the basket with my left. And I see, my bad, I ain't trying to like name drop nothing. I'm just making it.
Man, brother, name drop. Tell your story. I'm cool.
So like I'm going to the basket and I see Mason Plumlee coming. So like I could try to punch it on him, but I don't know. So I go up like I'm about to lay it, and then like when he jump, I drop it off because John Henson on my team, he running right behind him. So when I drop it off, I'm backpedaling out. And as I'm backpedaling, one of the Weird twins, guys who went to like UCLA, I think they went to North Carolina,
UCLA and North Carolina, yep.
Right. So as I'm backpedaling out, one of them runs into the back of me. His shoulder hits me like right at the base of my neck. So my neck snapped back like that. And then next thing you know, I'm just falling. But I can't do nothing to stop myself. So when I hit the ground, like boom, I hit my head, hit my elbow. And I'm like, I shake it off, I'm like, damn. So So then somebody like, yo, like, come on, bro. Like, I'm like, yo, give me a second. Got a stinger. So like I'm looking around and I'm trying to move stuff and ain't nothing moving. So then John Henson like, come on, bro. Reach his hand out. I said, bro, I swear to God I'd get up if I could. He's like, what? And I was like, I can't feel nothing. He was like, oh. Started calling everybody over. So like they trying to see what's going on, but I'm paralyzed from the neck down. So like I'm laying on the court and I'm like, I can do all this, but I can't move my arms, legs, my body, nothing. So I bust out laughing. Cause I'm like, bro, this is crazy. Like I prayed to make it to the McDonald's game. Like I'm like, come on, God, you got a better storyline for me than this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm laying there. The paramedics finally come in and they grab my arms. They're like, man, hold your arm up. They let my arm go to fall. I'm like, look, bro, I can't feel nothing. I'm tired of everybody looking at me. I'm like, bro, get the spatula, stretch it, whatever. I'm like, get me up off this floor. So they're like, nah, we don't want to move you because we want to make sure your neck, da-da-da-da. So then I'm on the court for probably about 2 hours, felt like 2 days. And they just keep trying to move stuff, but nothing moving. And then finally, like, after that 2 hours, like, my finger twitched. Mm. So then they started being like, squeeze my hand. So, like, my fingers twitching, and it took some time, and then slowly everything started coming back. And they take me to the hospital, told me that I bruised my spinal cord. Wow. So then, crazy part is, so they told me I bruised it. So then they like, we gotta make sure you straight though. Like, I'm like, so y'all still gonna be playing the game? They're like, we don't know. I'm like, nah, bro. Like, y'all got like if I'm good, I can play, right? They're like, yeah, if you good. So the next day, we go to practice. So like all those little McDonald's videos on YouTube, mm-hmm. like dunking and all that stuff, that's after I was paralyzed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I go into practice the next day and I'm challenging everybody to a dunk contest. What you trying to do? Because I'm trying to show them that like I'm good.
Yeah.
So I'm doing all these dunks and da-da-da-da. McDonald's people come over like, yeah, bro, sit your ass down. Insurance policies, we ain't trying to have you suing us, this and this and that. So I snapped on them. I'm like, bro, y'all can have all this then. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't come here for souvenirs or to go to, yeah, I ain't come here for Disney World and all that. Like, bro, I came here for Skylar Diggins and to get buckets. Like,
yo, did you ever get to meet Skylar Diggins?
Yeah. I talked to her. I had her number for a little while, and then Lil Wayne, Chris Brown shouted her out. That might be out of my range, bro. Out of my range. So, but like after all that, I'm like, bro, if y'all ain't gonna let me play, I can have it. Mm-hmm. And like, I started taking the shoes off, jersey. I'm like, I can have all this shit. They're like, nah, calm down. I'm like, nah, bro. So the person who spoke to me in that moment, like I'm name dropping. You remember a guy named Jack McClinton went to the University of Miami?
Yeah, facts.
So while I'm snapping, Jack from Baltimore, but like we ain't really ever meet each other because he older. So I'm snapping like taking all this shit. So he walking out the practice facility. So he like, yo, like, hey, like come here, young fella, and he started talking to me. And he like, bro, like forget all that, bro. Like you still gonna go to college, like you still gonna be good, da-da-da-da. Like point is like making sure you straight, but like Jack McClinton kind of calmed me down. And but then after that, Jordan game, I was ready to go.
Yeah, I was about to get into that, man. The Jordan game, you went off, man. How was that experience?
Oh, it was phenomenal, bro. Like, I mean, like, I got the showcase on the big stage. They robbed me for MVP though, because like,
who took it?
Huh?
Who won the MVP?
For my team, they gave it to Ronaldo Sidney. He had like 14 points and like 9 rebounds or something, or like 8 rebounds or something like that. And I had 18 and 9, I think, off the bench. and they gave it to him. And Derek Favors on the other team, Derek Favors had like 21, but yeah, robbed me for it because clearly, if when you go down that all-time scores Jordan game, I'm on that list, and it was one play when I first got in. I traveled like hell, and I was like, okay, can't mess this up. So then next couple plays, I'm getting in my rhythm. And two crazy stories from that game. One was after the first half, right? Every time I went to like McDonald's, Joe, whatever, everybody like, what school you going to? What school you going to? What school you going to? People like North Carolina, Duke, Kentucky, UCLA. What school you going to, Wally? Like Kansas State. They like, what is that? I'm like Manhattan. They like Kansas State, New York. Like, nah, bro. Like,
hey, Kansas, motherfucker.
Yeah, people like, man, why you going there? Like, so they like, what you think you might be? Like, nah, bro. So it was always like a point to prove. You know what I mean? Like even at that level. So that same game, that first half, I scored like 9. I think I like 9 or 6, whatever. And coming out of half, Spike Lee tapped me. And he like, hey, young fella, hey, what school you going to? So I'm like, K-State. He like, oh, okay. He like, man, I'm gonna keep an eye out for you. Like, I like your game. So I'm like, all right, cool. And so I'm about to walk away. I'm like, hey, excuse me, Mr. Spike. he like, what's up, man? I'm like, can you do me a favor? He like, what you mean? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get a dunk this half, right? And it was a Lil Wayne line always playing in my head. Even he say, from the side, like, what do you say? From the side, like Spike at the guard, and I got the hardest ball. It's called. So I'm just thinking like Spike Lee sideline, like this is, Reggie Miller doing this to him and all that. Like Spike is a pillar, you know what I mean?
Hell
so
yeah.
I get this dunk, bro. I'm running past. I need you to dap me up. We on ESPN, like I got it, right? So he like, all right, bet, like, I got you, young fella. Like, cool. Fast forward, same game. John Wall comes down, does that 360 dump ball pass. Yeah. Drops it off to me. I catch it. I dunk it. Right? I think we made ESPN top 10 with it. But if you keep playing that video, I'm running back down court. And Spike is like standing out there. And I'm so hyped. Like, I
you
run
forget
right
to
past,
give him a pass.
Bro, run right past Spike. After that, when I seen that video, I was like, oh.
You
like,
fucked it up.
But then, like, same game, I'm bringing the ball up. And I mean, it's Madison Square, so it ain't really quiet. But I can hear one person yelling. I don't know what they saying, but I hear them yelling, ah. So I'm bringing the ball up. Like, who is this yelling? If you look at that play, you'll see me walking up, kind of looking over into the crowd. When I turn to look, the only person standing up is Michael Jordan. Right? So he like yelling something at me. So I'm like, Mike, I can't hear you, bro. So he keeps saying something. I'm like, I take it for what it's worth. I'm like, Mike told me to go get a bucket.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So I'm just like, all right, Mike. So Jordan Hamilton is guarding me. He went to Texas.
I remember him from Cali.
Yeah. Jordan, good dude. Jordan guarded me. So when I see that, I'm like, bet. So Jordan always thought it was sweet because he thought I was like a real power forward center. So I go straight into ISO mode. Boom, 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 boom. Get past him, get fouled. Right? I turn around. I look at Mike. I'm like, good job. Mike looking at me like.
What he was trying to tell you?
Man,
What he was trying to tell you?
Man, to this day, I don't know. I just know when I turn back around, I'm like, I did good. Yeah, just like, man, I'm like, damn, man. But man, it's a great experience, man. Very few people can say Michael Jordan yelled out.
Hell yeah, man. That's a dope experience, man. Now let's go tap into this college career, man. You
For sure.
You enter K-State, and you play your freshman year. your sophomore year, like what was going through your mind? How was that play out for you? I know you come in with high expectations. You top 15 in the country.
Right. And then like I used to go to K-State all the time. Like whenever whenever I get a break, like I wasn't going back to DC. I wasn't going to Florida, nothing like that. Like they always bring me out to K-State. So like I got used to just going up there and playing with those dudes. So like I'm coming in not thinking it's sweet, but I'm coming in feeling like with me we're gonna be a hell of a team. You know what I'm saying? With Denny, Jacob, then you got Kels, then you got me, and then we had so many people who could play that 3 position that we could just blend in, and we wasn't small. Like Dominique Sutton was 6'6", Jamal Samuel 6'7". They both played a 3. Rodney 6'4", 6'5". He played a 2-3. So it's like our team was huge.
Hell yeah.
And the K-State guys was like they would tell me, they like, listen, dog, we need you to score. They told me that all through high school, like man, we know, but like when you come in, we're gonna need you to score. So like when I came in, I'm looking at it like not like they're giving me the reins, but I'm going to be a primary option. And when I got there, like, and they didn't make it easy for me. Like whether I was top 15 or not, like I think when you come in with a number beside your name as high as that, like it invokes certain energies. You know what I'm saying? Like for those guys who made it to college who weren't ranked, who feel like, nah, this prima donna ain't about to come in and take my spot. Like I had a walk on tried to fight me, and I was like, this is crazy. I was like, this is crazy. Like, he was like, man, you think you a McDonald's All-American? I was like, what, bro? Like, I'm like, what's your energy on right now?
Yeah.
Like, nah, because I'm tired of you doing it. I'm like, bro, I don't even talk. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes just like snapping. So he like, man, McDonald's. I'm like, see, I told him when he said the McDonald's, I'm like, see, that's how I know it's something different. Because I never threw the McDonald's stuff in anybody's face. I never used it as clout. None of that. Like, I never was like, I'm supposed to be the man because I'm the only Mickey D. Like, nah, bro, like you feel some kind of way about that.
Yeah, I'm coming here to work like everybody else.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to learn. Like, if anything, y'all supposed to help make me better quicker. Because the more pub I get, the better the school up. And right now, I'm the only dude on the draft board. You know what I'm saying? So I just remember that year feeling like not like feeling the pressure. Because I remember like walking through campus, people driving through Wally Judge, Rod, like yelling. I looked at Rod and I said, bro, we averaged 5 points this year. They're gonna kill us. I said, bro, we gotta put up numbers, dog. They're gonna kill us out here. But like if you go back and look at my freshman year, right? And like I said, ain't no sugarcoating, bro. All this stuff is political in a sense. And it's also a design. And like, if you look back at my freshman year, whenever we played the bigger teams, I started. Or I played heavy minutes. Whenever we played those like brush over teams or whatever, I barely played. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to figure it out. Like even that my freshman year, we went on a stretch where we played Alabama, who had like Jermichael Green and Lonzo G and all those dudes. Or was it Lonzo? Yeah, I think that was his name. And they were number 15 in the country. Then we turned around, we played UNLV. Number 15, they rankings changed up, but then they was number 15 in the country. We played KU. We played University of Texas, who was number 1 that year when we beat them.
That's with Damian James and all them.
Yeah, and Dexter Pittman. And that's another thing.
Dexter Pittman, I forgot. Yeah, hell yeah, his big ass.
That's another thing, bro. Like, I came out of high school recruited as a small forward. When I came to college, they turned me into a center. So I'm 6'9", 250, and I got to guard Dexter Pittman, who's 6'10", 315. Nah, bro, like that don't seem right. You know what I'm saying? But every top team that we played, I would start. We played Alabama, started, went crazy on Jermichael Green. You know what I'm saying? UNLV started, we beat the brakes off of UNLV.
Christian Wood was there yet, or he wasn't there yet?
Who?
Christian Wood.
Nah, they had damn, what was his name? They had one of the guys I know because we played on the USA team in high school together. Oscar Belfield. They had it's going Trey. It was the guy that went to UNLV, one number 33, light-skinned cat. His name was Trey something, but he was like they primary guy, and then they had some solid bigs, but now Christian Wood wasn't there yet. But like, man, we smacked them, turned around, played Baylor. You know what I'm saying? Beat Baylor at Baylor. Like all these, so like whether I scored or not, I affected the game. You know what I'm saying? But like whenever we would play those stat stuffer teams,
Yeah.
those Savannah States and
Cupcakes.
Yeah, those games where I can go out, North Florida, where I can go out and give me like 20, right? And then it just started to seem more and more like my statistics were being what's a good word for it? We're being like held back. You know what I'm saying? Like as if
you do you feel like they was trying to like cater to the older people?
Nah, I just felt like I feel like Frank was in a position where he was kind of given a program with Mike and Bill, and we was his real first recruiting class, because that class that was in between Mike and Bill and then like myself and Rodney, like was like JUCO transfers and stuff. Like they ain't had no like real freshmen. Like we was his first like real freshman, and with me like headlining it, I think people thought I was coming in with like a certain sense of arrogance. And I'm like, nah, bro. Like I told you how I came up, bro. Like I'm humble as hell. You know, I'm trying to get my mom out of the situation, because like even when I was at K-State, like my mom was in a homeless shelter. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm trying to play the best I can. At the same time, like whatever money I'm getting, I'm sending it home. And now that I'm in college, I'm kind of under the spotlight, so I can't get the same help that was being helped before, because then I would get in trouble. So it was just a lot on me mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like I can go out and even if I did go out and get 40, that 40 means if my little brother ain't got shoes with the school. You know what I'm saying? So it was tough. But nah, man, K-State was as far as the community was just they were great to me. It was more so like the politics of it, because I felt like allegedly, I'm gonna throw this in. So allegedly, years later down the line, I found out through other college coaches that apparently I was paid for it, right? I don't know whose hand, allegedly. 100,000 exchanged hands with somebody, right? And if that is true, it kind of does make sense. Because if you spend $100,000 on something, you want it gone after a year? Nah. So yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. It was like I had games where like, even if you look at the NCAA tournament, like I averaged 5 points, 6 points. Why would they pick me as the X factor in the NCAA tournament? I'm a freshman averaging 5-6 points a game, because I was starting to build like it didn't matter. Like I'm starting to build and show that I do have a certain skill set, and the potential is through the roof. And the whole time we winning in these NCAA tournament games, I'm having good games. Big 12 tournament, I'm having good games. Then we'll get down to a certain point, you take me out. Like last game of the season, freshman year, Iowa State. Winning this game was the difference between the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed. We beat Iowa State at Iowa State. Now we playing them at home, which should be a piece of cake, right? But they had some good players like Craig Brackens, Marcus Gilstrap. And I never forget this. I came off the bench. I scored like 6 or 8 straight points. Quick. Got me like a layup, free throws, hit me a jump shot, whatever. It was a play where I catch it at the free throw line. I turn and Gilstrap's guard me. He's like up underneath the basket. So I'm like, oh, whatever. I pull it. It rim in, come out. That horn go off, and Frank subs me out. Don't play me the rest of the game.
Wow.
And I had no idea why. I'm like, bro, I just came off the bench and went 4 for 5 real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And you're gonna take me out and not play me the rest of the game. Like, so now I'm scratching my head, like, the hell I do wrong. Now I'm thinking, like, I gotta make every shot. That's the only way to stay in the game. For me to make every shot. Same scenario, we playing KU, Big 12 championship. Playing KU Big 12 championship, and same setup. Come off the bench, score like a quick 6 to 8 points. Catch it at the free throw line. I go to pull up. Sharon Collins closing out. He can test it and everything. I shoot it. I make it. He keep me in. So now I'm like super confused because it was literally the same set of plays.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just deteriorating my confidence every step of the way. And like it took for me to get to Rutgers to finally start getting that confidence back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The funny thing, when I did Kurt interview, he spoke of you. He spoke very highly of you, and he was saying like the same thing that he's seen in himself as him being older now that he was the upperclassman on K-State. The same things that he's seen in himself at UConn. He said like he felt like you suffered from this same situation as far as like you wasn't dealt your fair share of cards, basically, and basically coming in with being highly touted. Basically, y'all went through the same thing, and I understand it. Like it's crazy. Like this. I always felt like college is like full of politics, and I always tell people I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong for saying it, but I just say like get what you can from these coaches because they're gonna get what they can from you. Basically, like they don't give a fuck about. I feel like they don't care about the students, the student athletes. I feel like you got some genuine coaches, but most of these coaches is in it for what they can get out of the situation. So I feel like as a player or as a parent having a kid, I feel like you should get whatever you could get from these teams or these coaches as far as like not as far as materialistic things, but as far as like you feel me the knowledge and the stuff that the game give you, because when it's all said and done, it's basically every coach, every man for themselves. Like Kurt said, they got a job to do basically, no matter who the player is.
They gotta feed their family. You know what I'm saying? No matter who back it's off of, and then like, bro. Now after basketball, like I did some few jobs, like I sold cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being in that life helped me understand even more so how much college coaches are salesmen. You know what I mean? They're salesmen. They come and they tell you the possibilities. They don't
What
give you
may happen.
Huh?
They tell you what may happen. They're not telling you the real.
Right. So like now, in a sense, I'm glad I'm in the situation or the position I'm in, because like when I talk to these kids and I give them advice, something I didn't know as a kid because I didn't have parents who were knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. You know, my parents ain't play no sports, or you know, I didn't have any older siblings that got this deep into it, so they had no idea how to navigate through. So they would just take whatever advice is given, right? But at the end of the day, it's like you gotta talk to these coaches like you're the enterprise. Like they get paid based off of where you come into this school or not. Like Calipari don't won one national chip in however many years.
Mm-hmm.
Why ain't Kentucky gonna get rid of him? Why wouldn't Memphis get rid of him? Because every year he's getting the recruits that everyone wants to see.
Yeah, he makes money for that school.
It's a business. If I can get to know my point guard like Derrick Rose, there's gonna be more ticket sales in there. There's gonna be more coming to the University of Memphis games. If I can get Anthony Davis, Michael Kidd Gilchrist, and Marcus Teague and all these dudes on one people coming to see this. So at the end of the day, I tell these kids, bro, like you're the commodity. You gotta understand that your recruiting ain't based off of you impressing them. Their job is based off them impressing you. Because now kids got a lot more options, like going overseas or the overtime league or this and that, like
G League, all type of stuff.
Yeah, like I wish that was the case. You know what I'm saying? I wish that was the case. Because what they did with that is they're stopping the maturation of a person. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of for example, 18, I can join the army, but I can't go play in the league.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That makes sense. I can go give my life for this country, but I can't go feed my family. That don't make sense. You know what I mean? Like no other sport denies. Like if you can play, you can play. Soccer, guys 14 turning pro. I got to see Neymar when he was 15 years old. Neymar was making $11 million a year at 15.
That's when you was overseas.
No, this was they used to come. The national teams used to use the Rutgers facilities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so their national team came up there, and this is when Neymar was a young boy, well, super young boy. But like he's making like $11 million a year at 15. You know what I'm saying? While I'm out here trying to figure out how to get through this chemistry test. Like, when am I going to have chemistry?
Yeah, man, that shit is crazy. That's why I'm happy that they came in with these NIL deals too, man. Because finally, it's getting paid.
I'm happy for them, but it hurt.
You said it's hurt. It's hurting the colleges?
No, it hurt me. I'm like, man, I've been born 10 years younger.
Yeah, I always tell people that, especially people with like big names. I'm like, yo, man, if y'all was born 10 years later, man, y'all motherfuckers would be rich.
Right, because like in all honesty, like the compensation that came from all that stuff, like bro, I was on the last NCAA video game. You can't tell me that video game ain't make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars.
Hell yeah.
And my likeness was on that game. Like when I bought that game and I looked at my character on it, looked just like me.
Just ain't have the name.
Only difference is didn't have a name, and my character had a shirt underneath his jersey, which I never wore a shirt underneath my jersey. But that was it. Same attributes. He was athletic, blocked shots, all the same. Jump shot was broke, like all the same attributes as me. But I don't get paid for that.
Yeah, man, that shit is crazy.
It's crazy. Or like I'm going to my dorm room trying to figure out, or I'm trying to mac on some girl to get her to buy me dinner. When I just came from a game where I seen 3 kids wearing my jersey that they don't sell in the bookstore. So who making these jerseys? I just had to buy my own college jersey back from somebody on eBay.
That's great.
For $200. Like I don't even get the courtesy of getting my belongings, so I can like show my sons, hey man, these are our away jerseys. This is this and that. Like, so it's sad, man. It's sad. A lot of us basketball players spend our whole career and we're stripped of our memorabilia. we're stripped of our legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like people, I know it's cool for people to auction stuff off and buy stuff, but like, man, I think if you don't put blood, sweat, and tears into that jersey, bro, you deserve it. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you want to do with it. And the fact that, like, even after the sense, people still making money off you, and you not seeing a dime out of it, like, yeah, that hurt.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. And so yeah, we jump back into, you go to Rutgers, and you come on strong. You end up starting. You do well your senior year. You like second in rebounding, first in blocks. I may be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Second in rebounding, first in blocks. Um, and you ultimately you end up overseas. Could you like just hop on your overseas career? I know you hit some places. I wrote them down. You was Argentina, Finland, Israel, Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Just hop on that. How was that for you?
Man, I loved it, man. It was an amazing experience. I was fortunate enough to get a chance to go overseas in high school, to go represent the country, shoot twice, for a Nike USA team, man, and Adidas one. But and it's funny because it's like how Kurt was saying, like we real similar. Like we even went the same paths as far as like he went to Italy rookie year, and then like even to the point like when I got to Israel, I had his old apartment. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So it was a great experience, man, and it matured me to the business because I'm trying to, like when I got there, I had a coach who he wanted to treat us like old-fashioned big men. It was me and this guy named Javante Reddick, and basically he was like, hard hedge every screen, go set screens on offense. If you score when you catch it on the way to the rim. So I'm like me and Javante, like, yo, this is whack as hell. Like, this is stupid. Like, bro, this is exhausting. Every play on defense, every screen they set on while I'm on defense, I got to hard hedge it. And then I got to get back to my man. Then I got to go down on the other end, and then I'm setting 3 screens every offensive possession, like, and rolling every time and not getting the ball. Like, this is crazy. So, like, I started to go through, like, my little frustrations, and I started to kind of, like, maybe this ain't it. But then, like, coming from where I come from, dog, like, my upbringing and all the stuff I had to fight through, I was sitting on my porch one day on my balcony, and I was like, I could hit the water from the beach, like rolling up and rolling back. And I was just like, bro, I'm tripping. I was like, I'm in Italy playing basketball for money. Like, how am I sad? Or how am I bothered, upset? From that day forward, bro, my mindset changed. And then I went into practice. Like, if y'all ain't gonna let me do this in the game, I'm gonna do it in practice. So I went on like a 2-week run where I ain't miss a shot in practice. Like, listen, I'm talking about like killing in practice. Me and Chris Wright went to Georgetown. Like we going through practice, like setting up goals for each other or challenges. Like Chris, I'm like we going over the press. I'm telling Chris, I bet you can't break the press by yourself. He's like, what? He come down, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like doing everything. Then he come to me like, I bet you can't score with your left hand all practice. Like, what? Everything. Left hand floated, boom, boom, like just challenging each other to get better. And then that was the I guess that was the motivational factor, like having somebody to push you in that way. And then we had 5 rookies to start off the season because like Chris came middle of the year. We had 5 rookies. It was me, a guy named Kendall Williams went to New Mexico. The guy Javante Reddick went to VCU. Anthony Miles, who went to Rider, and then LaQuinton Ross from Ohio State. And like we came in so optimistic, dog. Like we like, what? This man, like we playing the preseason. Like, man, this about to be sweet. Like preseason, I'm averaging like 23 rebounds, right? Like a game, like to the point, like I'm grabbing so many rebounds they getting mad at each other. Like, man, somebody box him out, dog. Like, so, then we got hit with the reality check. Last game of the preseason, we played this team called Brindisi. We smacked them by 20. And after the game, they had this old head dude named he went to Clemson. Not James Gifts. He went to Maryland. I remember his name. His name's like James Mays. Had cornrows, big, swole, dark-skinned dude, wearing number 40. After the game, they all dapping us up, but they not saying like good game. They like stay healthy, stay healthy. Like what the hell that mean? Man, we played them first game of the season, and they 40-pieced us.
What was the difference?
What
was the difference in it?
I had 3 people boxing me out every time. Every single time. Like I'm trying to fight through. I'm talking like really wrestling. Like, but every single time a shot went up, like that was the adjustment. That's the difference in like college basketball, because like you might see some teams twice, but in college you find points of emphasis that you try to get to. Mm-hmm. On a pro level, you find points of emphasis that you try to stop. So it's like they're not worried about offense as long as they can stop me from rebounding. Then it helps wipe out half our offense, because if we're grabbing 20 rebounds, then 8 to 10 of them joints
is offensive rebounds.
You know what I'm saying? So if they can keep me on the glass, then that cut off part of our attack. So like you just learn from it.
All right. Seemed like a dope experience over there, man. And are you retired now, or you still keeping the door open?
Man, I never really officially retired, but I'm cool on it. Like I still play in like men's leagues and stuff. So actually at the game tonight that I couldn't make it to, because I was sick. Well, I've been sick the last week, but nah, man, I can still get up and go. So what kind of slowed that down is my rookie year I stayed in Italy the whole season, which is like big for overseas. Mm-hmm. So it opened up the net for other teams to come get me. The team in Italy, they wanted me to sign back, but it would have been a good fit comfort-wise, but financially, I was trying to chase some bucks. You know what I'm saying? So my rookie, I made like 45, 50 grand. And then they were like, hey, man, let us put a package together. Like, we want you to come back. So I'm like, cool, I got no problem. And they end up offering me like just like 10 more thousand. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, man, I want to, but y'all got to come a little harder than that, because LaQuint Ross is making 60 as a rookie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to bring back my second year and give me what you was giving a rookie last year. So then they hit me. They like, hey, well, let us look at it. They end up coming back and just adding like another 2,500 to it. I'm like, what? I'm like, nah. Because in the same time, I got Israel offering me a 2-year deal. They ain't even named the price yet. They were just like, man, whatever you made last year, we'll quadruple it. So I'm like, that's the way to go. And that summer, confidence is back. Honestly, I was like, nobody could guard me. That's honestly how I felt. Like, whether it be NBA, pro, whatever, like, I felt like nobody could guard me. And that summer, I was playing in the ball up thing. Ended up slipping during the game, tore my meniscus. Didn't know it was torn. So they told me I sprained my MCL. I'm working to get back. Or they tell me to just like chill, like rest on it. I rest on it. And then I'm trying, once they say I'm good to go, I'm running 3 miles a day, going to get up shots. I don't really feel no pain. So I ain't thinking about it. I fly down to Florida. I go to play some pickup. Like as soon as I get off the plane, they like, oh, all the pros meeting at this gym. I'm like, bet, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never duck bump. You know what I'm saying? Like I always wanted.
That's East Coast in us, man.
Yeah, like I always, like if you that dude, you gotta show me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I pull up and we playing, and in the midst of all that stuff, like I off a pick and roll, I catch the ball, I go to dunk it, and I feel my knee pop. And my meniscus split, and then it like tied around itself. So me being young, I was nervous on like I guess how they would view it. So I ain't tell the team. I went and got my surgery done. Did with a little bit of rehab I could do, and I just went straight over there. And so like I'm playing in the preseason and stuff, but and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know, practice, I'm killing niggas in practice. And like my knee holding up because I'm doing what I'm supposed to, like go home, I ice it. But the issue was I wasn't supposed to be a starter. They had a 7-foot Israeli dude, but he played on the national team. So the whole preseason he with the national team. So instead of getting another center to back me up, they just playing me. So it gets to the point like my knee's starting to wear down. And I'll never forget one game I had like 18 and 23, right? And I look at the GM and I'm like, man, that's good, right? He like yeah, I like the way you play, like, but why you don't dunk? So I'm like, what you mean? He like we brought you here because you dunk a lot. I'm like, bruh, I just had 23 rebounds and 8 points. Like what you mean? Like we getting dubs. He like, yeah, but the more you dunk, the more fans gonna want to come see you. So I'm like, so now I gotta be a dunker. You know what I'm saying? And then like after a while, my knee just started wearing down to the point like I had to tell him, like, hey, bro, told my meniscus in the summer, like, y'all signed me to a 2-year deal, like, keep showing me love. And they kind of did. And what happened was, I guess my contract was big enough to bring in some other people if they got rid of my contract. So they called me into the office one day and they started trying to like threaten me, like, yeah, we can sue you, like you came over here and didn't tell us you were hurt. I told them, I said, how was I hurt? They said, well, you complaining about your knee, you said you tore your meniscus. I said, yeah. Y'all put me through a physical, right? They're like, yeah. I'm like, I passed it, right? Yeah. So how you gonna sue me?
Exactly.
I'm like, and I done played all the preseason games and I produced. And now I'm just asking for some rehab help. But they want for it. They next thing you know, they's like, yeah, you got 4 days, man. Get all your stuff together. Da, da, da. I was like, cool. And then they end up they cut me, and then next they signed Nate Robinson. Yeah, so I was like, man, yeah, I started getting more in depth to the business.
And that did that eventually take you on your journey where you started like wanting to coach, getting the coaching?
Nah, like, man, the coaching part just kind of hit me like probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Like, as my son started getting older, like, today his birthday, he just turned 12 today.
Happy birthday to him, man.
Yeah, so he, you know, the older he started to get, the more I just started wanting to kind of be around it all, because I'd be damned if anybody take advantage of him. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not my parents. Now I know, you know, I know what to do, how to navigate stuff for him. You know what I'm saying? So, like, in all, it's been a gift, bro. Like, I can't really take anything negative out of it, you know, other than like certain people I probably shouldn't have trusted, or maybe not put so much trust into. But other than that, like I tell people all the time, bro, I wasn't supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything that I've been able to accomplish as far as basketball wise, like it took me to get to this point to be like, oh, it was a lot. And now, like, bro, my biggest I guess my biggest love right now is educating the guys now about like what questions to ask, how to go about certain things. Like I tell my team all the time, like we got some good players and stuff, right? But then they'll come to the bench and they're like, man, I only played like 3 minutes that time. Or like, yo, coach, let me get back in so I can get my average.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? Like, nah, you should have did that while you was in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then they might slouch back on the bench and I'm like, hey, bro, like, sit up. Like, you don't never know who watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody told me you never know who watching. And that's staying true to this day, bro. Like, so it could be the same way John Moran got discovered. He could have been pissed off because he was in that second gym with those sorry kids or whatever, and he could have just been out there bullshitting. But he went out there and he played the best of his ability, and just so happened a college coach looking for some Doritos walking the gym to find him. Like that's why I emphasize it more than ever. Like man, you never know who watching. Always gotta be on your P's and Q's, and like it's fulfilling when you see them, when you see it starting to click in them. Like when you see a guy like, hey, let's get 2 more reps. You know what I'm saying? When you start
Mm-hmm.
seeing that hunger
You're
in them,
loving the process.
right? You start seeing the hunger that you had forming them, and you start seeing guys being like, nah, I can't rest right now because somebody trying to get better. And yeah, kids are supposed to have a work life balance, if you want to put it like that, and not wrap everything around basketball. But that's like telling the painter, you know what I'm saying? Like not to work on his brush strokes. Like
Mm-hmm.
this what you love to do. So you gotta love every aspect of it. You gotta love the tough days. You gotta love the days where you run so many sprints that you feel like your knees about to explode, or you can taste the blood in your lungs. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta love every portion of it. You know what I mean? You can't just be there for the glory and not relish in the sacrifices. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. That the funny thing, man. I had 2 more questions for you.
Yes, sir.
One of my questions, you basically answered it right there. But I'm that's gonna be my last question because I always end the episode off with that question.
Right.
So my first question before that would be, who would be your top 5 players out the DMV that you seen?
Mm-hmm. Top 5. All right. Kevin and Mike going to take president.
Mm-hmm.
They almost like Biggie and Pop. Right. She is like, but there's so many guys before them that flew under the radar, like Lawrence Moulton,
No, I never heard of him.
old school cat, played at Syracuse, I believe. He actually lived across. His folks lived across the street from my mom. She would probably still do. But my top 5, I'm gonna nip it in the bud. Top 5 would probably be Kevin and Mike. Trey Kelly.
Where he from?
Trey Kelly, he went to South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he went to South Carolina when like Downey and them was there,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Ronaldo Blackman.
Yeah, that one play for the Knicks with the dreads.
Yeah, played for the Knicks. But like Trey just is always a solid point guard and always put on for the city. And I don't think he never really got the clout like that other guards from the area got, based off what he did. But I would go Kevin, Mike, Trey.
It's tough, right?
Hell yeah, because I mean, you can throw Jeff Green in the mix. He is an NBA champion now. You know, he's solidified himself in the league. You know, over the years, they call him Uncle Jeff. He's been the same. Like, he literally been the same player from day one till now. Like, still dudes. And last will probably be I'm trying to think of somebody that's a sleeper. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna go at it like this. I'm gonna throw my little cousin in the mix, James Hampton. Yeah, he was on his way. Unfortunately, he passed away on the court. Because I remember I was at school at Rutgers and I kept getting all these calls like, man, you got a little cousin back home going crazy. I'm like, what's his name? They like James. I'm like, man, I don't got no cousins named James. Because I've always known him as Jamie. You know what I'm saying?
Jamie, yeah.
So I'm like, man, it might be my cousin, man. I got family all over. But, you know, he was building a rep for himself, and like even now, like even in his passing, he's a legend in DC. You know what I mean? Just off his impact alone. So I had to round that top 5 off with him, man, out of respect.
All right. And my last question is, you know, the name of this podcast is called Key to the Game, and advice or some you know, some jewels you could drop on the younger crowd or even your younger self that basically that'll help you in the future. That you, if you could go back in time with some jewels that you would have told yourself that would have led you up to become the man that you are now.
Know your worth. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of my time coming up, it was surreal for me. Because I was that kid that they was calling sorry, and I was the dude who they'd tell to slide down the bench. And to get to a point where, like, I walk in the gym and people like, oh yeah, that's him. And I always tried to take that approach, like, nah, stay humble. But like, sometimes you gotta know what you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially at this sport, you know what I'm saying? It's got to be in your nature. Like, what Iverson say, a killer gonna be a killer whether he in a suit or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to know what you are, who you are, and your worth. And you can't never discount that for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Stand on business. Like, if I walk into a gym and I say I'm the best one in here, then it's gonna take all y'all in this gym to prove that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta believe in what I do. And I think that was the biggest hurdle that I never overcame at that level. Was like, I was good, but I was so content on being perfect that I just didn't hone all the skills that made me great. I kept trying to add everything to it. So I was just saying, man, the key to the game is knowing yourself. You know yourself. Ain't nobody tell you different.
It's the key to the game, man.
Word.
Yo, Wally, man, I appreciate you for coming up here, man. This was a dope interview. As you said, it was gonna be a dope interview, man.
I appreciate you.
No problem, man. Appreciate all the jewels you dropped and everything, man. And everybody, the people that's watching, man, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. We need them subscribers. Wally, man, thank you, man. That's another episode in the books, y'all.
Man, I appreciate you.